Whoa. Just watched a doctor's video on adrenal fatigue on YouTube. He said that if you can't handle stress, have a short fuse, can't even take spelling mistakes, for me, the misuse of its, you have adrenal insufficiency. That's your best determiner. So I qualify. Then he said if you're with a spouse or coworker and they're stressed, just douse their coffee with an opened capsule of his adrenal/cortisol formula and within 10 minutes, they'll be smiling and calm. OMG. This is a doctor. People look to doctors as role models, well, they used to anyway. And this guy is telling people to control other people with a substance, the contents of one of the pills he has formulated. This is so wrong on so many levels. Such a violation of another person's free will. I commented I won't be doing that and I said why not, so I hope he sees it and reconsiders how controlling he's being and how he has violated other people's free will by telling them it's okay to do this. Suppose you get some person who's watching who doesn't see the difference between dousing others' coffee with a drug instead, or spiking it with vodka, which is pretty tasteless. If a person doesn't have control over what goes into their body around someone else, that someone else has to hit the road, as I see it. What's more, if they have a reaction, are you going to step up and take responsibility for what you've done? I find many times when there are negative consequences to be had, people don't own up. This is wrong. Somebody once dragged a large metal object like a kitchen stove between my car and the building it was parked next to, and I now have a large paint scrape that extends from the front bumper to the side of the car. I talked to my super about it but he wouldn't own up. Coward. He knew he'd be repainting the car and it would cost him. He's all about bragging when he's done something virtuous, but pretty damned quiet when he's done something wrong. The true test of life is the hard stuff, folks. I once knew of a woman who, bless her heart, owned up to the illegal activity that she had done with money, and ended up doing time for her admission. She owned up for her deeds. She took responsibility. I have a lot of respect for her, bless her heart. It seems innocent enough. You're just trying to get some relief from someone who's stressed out. We all have that problem because so many people are so cranky, but you have to walk away or at least tell them that their mood bothers you and ask them to do something about it, if not for your sake, then their own. You have no right to alter someone's mood because it bothers you. This is very irresponsible and a violation of their free will. I can't even believe I just saw that, really. This is the power over others system in action here. It always includes violating others' free will. Always. The next question that begs to be asked is, if he's this unethical, what else is he doing he's not telling us about? I say trust is earned, but the first person you have to learn to trust is yourself. I don't trust everyone else with every fiber of my being. Not a chance. You're angry because you expect too much. Disappointed with the results you have created. I walked into the kitchen after going grocery shopping. Merlin was hovering at my feet, waiting for more food. He got food before I left for the store. But there he was again, giving me that stare. When he didn't get anything, I saw his tail swishing back and forth, so I said, "You're angry because you expect too much." That could open a whole can of worms, really. How often have I been disappointed at my own creation? Ivo, and you see, my love, you created everything in your life. It is all a reflection of you. You are learning to take responsibility for your creation, as all humans are now learning collectively upon Earth. When you are disappointed in your own creation, and you feel that you expected too much, then you are not recognizing the godly being that you are. You are believing that you are only a physical human again. It is this we must warn all of you on. It is very difficult for a broke, penniless, sick, tired, and depressed person to imagine that you can have it all, but you can have it all. Me, I feel that I went through all of these things because I had to understand what it was like to experience these ways of life, to have empathy for others with the same problem. Ivo, yes, but there is more than one way to do this. Had you been able to realize your godliness earlier in your life, you would have had empathy for others with these plights, because you would have been connected with the empathy that your higher self had that had sent you to earth in the first place, but because you could not remember yourself to that extent, you had to experience life circumstances that allowed you to do so. So you remember the empathy you had that brought you to earth to help. You did so by experiencing these things firsthand. Me, yes. Ivo, now you are tired of what you have created and wish to move to the country. You have no money saved to purchase a home, you would even live in a camper of sorts but fear the Canadian winter. Me, when I go to the park and I sit near the water, it is my vibration. That's the only thing I can say, it is me. Ivo, might I suggest to you that you stop telling yourself to stop expecting too much, and start expecting everything. Then you will open the channels to create it. Expecting too much is a belief you have that keeps a ceiling on your ability to manifest and create a better life for yourself. The other belief that you have is that those who have it all are morally diminished. That is not necessarily the case. Me, I have an issue with people who do spiritual work in order to become rich. This, to me, is counterproductive because you have the wrong motivation. Making money, to me, is an objective that is not spiritual in nature. Ivo, you can attract abundance, and because you live in a financial system, it requires the use of money quite often. Me, true. I don't like people who spend more time selling things than they do giving away free information. I'm starting a Zazzle account where I will be able to sell my photography, artwork, and yes, I'll put up Ashtar Sheran t-shirts and things for people who want them, but it's my intent to market to a wide audience. It's also my intent that should I supersede an amount I have in my head, the overflow will be either given to spiritual projects or to charities, real charities, not the fake ones. I only need so much. But I am putting together a plan B in case the DS manages to hold up the QFS funding for 4B money holders even longer than you're projecting. Just in case. I want to go up north. I want to live in the bush. I want to land ships. And by hook or by crook, I'm going to do it. Those are my expectations. And I don't have that much longer to go here because I've been dying to leave the city for a long time. Now it's overdue. I can't wait. I have to do something. And the other thing, I'm 60, so I just don't have a lot of time to wait anyway. I have to get moving. Ivo, so you are not expecting too much? Me, no. I'm not. I know I can do this. I've known it for years. Ivo, and money is slowing you down? Me, it's always the last thing. I'm going to earn enough to do this. Other people have done things that seemed impossible, so I'm going to do this too. Ivo, my love, it was your parents who showed you never to expect too much of life. They lived through the Depression and World War II, so they were the ones who were disappointed in life. But you need not be. I know you despise the city you live in, but sometimes that is not helping you either. You are learning to accept it and to make the best of it. It might be worth taking a trip up north again to investigate possibilities, because right now you are too far away from your destination. Your neighbor will feed your cat while you are gone. Me, yes, he's a problem that way. He follows me from room to room, he's so attached to me. Leaving for a few days would perhaps re-traumatize him. After all, I only keep him alive. Ivo, it is possible. Are you in touch with real estate agents from that area? Have you contacted people who run trailer parks? You have not investigated, nor have you gotten details for Plan B. It is time to do so. And this is a lesson as well, for you all, with respect to the law of attraction. She can attract, but then she must act. Becoming involved in your project is a must. Taking action is a must. Dispensing with beliefs that limit you is absolutely necessary. Keeping one's expectations of life low to avoid disappointment is a bad idea. Me, What I do at times is take a piece of paper or a Word document and I write down. I would raise the money to go up north to land ships except for the fact that, and then you fill in the blanks. Write down the first thing that comes along. I know. I fear the Gugwit and other negative types of Bigfoot. But I won't be alone, so I don't have to worry about being defenseless against negative beings. I know that living in cities creates a sense of security for many, but when the negative part of being in one outweighs the positive aspects, then you have to move. I know I also have a problem with the work I do. When it sells, I get a small commission. Unlike my brother who used to paint cars. He'd get a whole month's worth of earnings just from painting a couple cars. I have to give it some thought. But I have to bring in Athena and Sigrid, because when you consider something from a third or fourth dimensional mindset only, you're limited to these lower frequency solutions. To think big, you have to bring in the big guns. Thanks, Ivo. You make so much sense. Ivo, my love, you live by universal law, not your Earth's laws. If you want to do something, you can do it.